I'm gonna do another compilation video today because, you know, not all service calls turn into like these massive elaborate fault finding missions. Some of them can literally take you 5 minutes, and so a lot of those I just don't film because, you know, it takes 5 minutes and it's not, you know, elaborate and maybe not what people want to see. But what I'm going to try to do today is just a bit of a compilation one. So the first job we've got a little brown bag, but it's basically a Skope controller. It's an upright fridge. I'll take you to it and we'll get stuck into it. This is the culprit here. This. Basically, what was happening was the compressor wasn't cutting out when set point was reached. I'll put up a photo, but basically it was freezing all of the products in there. The relay inside the controller here you can see, so I'll show you what I did to test that. Alright, that's the inside of our controller there, and really all I did to confirm, not that it can really be anything else, was just chuck that onto ohms. Go. Alright. No power applied to the controller, so it's fuse shut. I'll compare the other one so you can have a look. Alright, let's get this one put in. Alright, fan's running, pressure's running. Yep. Quick test to make sure this controller actually cuts out. Perfect. Alright, back up and get out of here. Just thought I'd quickly pull it apart to see if I could see anything. So nothing looks burnt or damaged on the back of that. This here is our relay for our compressor. So here is live and there is neutral. That's that's the terminal to our compressor, that one right there, and then that one there is incoming power. So you can see on the back there. Yeah, no visual damage, but yeah, anyway, that's that one done. We'll yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I said, I'll do a bit of a new format, so we'll cut to me at a new job. Might be a different day, might be today, don't really know. But yeah, we'll cut to that one. Today I'm here to have a look at this Actron Air package unit and that one over there. Basically what happened is, on a maintenance, this one had faulted out on high pressure. It was still running, it had just logged a fault. So probed up, found that I had a really high TD across the coil. So investigated further, filters were all clean and coil was clean. So I looked at the airflow, found that the airflow on this one, so for anyone who doesn't know, these CP05 interface with their, I don't know what the actual, I'll take you over and have a look, but so this CP05 interface here basically gives you access to the parameters in here. Found that usually you can go in and change, like if it's just being run from here, you can change the medium speed to what you want it to be, and that's how it picks a fan speed. But this one here is being run through BMS, right? So with the BMS, you can actually control the fan speed through a 0 to 10. Which is what's happening here, right? So for whatever reason, they've decided to fix this fan speed to 70%. So I went and had a look at the commissioning manual. I'll throw up a screen grab, but this one comes preset to, off the top of my head, I can't remember. I think it's like 80% potentially for 100 pascals of static, right? So it's already operating lower than what it should. Now, given it has been operating like that for quite some time, but now that I'm aware of the situation, we're obviously going to rectify it. So same situation over there, although that one hadn't logged a fault. So anyway, plan today, I've got them to give me access via the BMS to the fan speed. So we're going to go through, measure the static again, probe up, just do a full system analysis once we've you know, changed our fan speed to where we think it should sit, and just kind of make sure that it's operating the way that we want it to. So anyway, let's jump in. Just went through and did a quick static pressure measurement. I drilled holes the other day, but it was more for the probe, so I had to quickly just do 2 measurements at one time. Anyway, it's sitting at about 110 pascals of static, so that's actually not too bad. So again, I reckon if we bump this thing up to about 80%, we are going to be bang on. I think I kept touching those 2 wires, but it's actually these 2 wires up the top here. So if I throw that in, 8 volts, running at 80%. So what we're going to do now, probe up, see what our TD is across the coil, but I reckon it's going to be a lot better. From memory, I didn't feel more save any of that stuff, but I think it was around like 20k. Yeah, I think it was around 20k. I'll see if I can go back and find something, but anyway, we'll probe up. Just throwing it into a test mode now, so hold on. I haven't profiled. I'll go through and profile the system. First of all, starting in heat pump mode. Yeah, and then we'll let it stabilize out and yeah, see what happens. Annoyingly, test mode must only last for like 5 minutes or something. So I'll just go onto the BMS and just bump up the temp. I just wanted to see if there was a way you could do it, because obviously not all of these systems have BMS, and at least that one looks like it's a bit harder to jump out. So if there was a way I could do it, anyway, we'll just put it into a test. We'll just go into put up the heat and test mode. I've just changed it over to cooling because I was cooking everyone in there. So anyway, wait for this thing to turn over. So I've been running for about 10 minutes now, and everything's looking pretty good, man. So superheat's nice, subcooling's nice, discharge temp's alright, supply air 8.3, returns dropped from 24, 25, whatever it was, so that's looking pretty good. Temp split 12.7. That's a hell of a lot better than what it was. I was testing in heat mode when I flagged the issue, so it usually operates a bit higher than that. But 12.7 in cooling is pretty good for me. Now, I don't know why, right? So sometimes on Measure Quick, liters a second obviously should be higher than 131. We're looking for 3,600 liters a second. I don't know why it displays. I think it's still displaying in CFM. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I like this app. I'm trying to give it another go, but sometimes it just does little things that are, not like massively annoying, just a little annoying. I'm pretty happy where this is currently sitting. I'll keep monitoring for a little bit longer to see if anything changes, but I don't think that it will. I think we're pretty sweet. Just gonna go to the exact same thing on that. I won't film it because it's basically the exact same thing, so I'm gonna leave this one here. Thank you for watching. Just a quick little video today. Got to replace the inverter board on this Hitachi ducted unit. This is my in-laws Aircon, and basically the inverter board went. So it's fairly old. It's probably 2007, but according to them, there was no issues with it, so I figured we'd go down the path of replacement of the board itself. Tried to get it repaired by module repair, but they kept having issues with the drives. They said so. They tested it, said that there was an issue with the drive, so they kept getting faulty ones from China or something like that. So honestly, the process took about 6 weeks to get to here before I made the decision just to buy a new board from J&G. So we're basically here to replace that today. So that's where the old board just here used to sit, and where our new board down there is going to go. Like I said, they said the drive on this was faulty. Now, I obviously tested the compressor electrically, which tested out fine. So obviously it could be seized. I took a gamble and said that it wasn't. And the reason I took a gamble was, actually I'll show you how I went about and tested this. So I've got my meter here set to the diode test, and basically what you do, basically what you do is you go between, so if you put your red prong on N and your U, we get a reading. You should do that across all three, right, which we are. But then if you reverse it and you go neutral, put your neutral on your neutral and your red, we're basically just testing, like I said, testing the diodes here to confirm that voltage is only going one way. And then again, you do the same thing on the P terminal, right? So P on P, red on power, we should get nothing going through, nothing. But then you flip, you got neutral on here, and we're seeing our voltage pass through, right? So because that tested out all right, I was more inclined to go down and say, okay, look, you know, I'm going to say I want to be fairly confident that that compressor's not seized. So yeah, that's why we've gone down the path of replacement. So let's get it in. Bit of a mission, but we got all the old heatsink paste off. And here's the new board. These did come from the old board. I just put them in place. But yeah, we'll get the heatsink on the back of this and get it in position. They do usually send like a heatsink, but I usually just use my own, to be honest. All right. So the idea with the heatsink paste is to try to get it obviously as smooth and uniform as possible, and have full coverage. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get it in. Beautiful new board's in place. Let's get the wires in place. All right, we're all wired back up again. So just going to quickly go through and make sure that I have wired it up correctly. They're labeled, which is really nicely. So I mean, I'd be surprised if I mess that up. But yeah, the only other thing is that the inverter board here not only drives the compressor, but it drives the fan motors too. Now, I had a look through the manual and I couldn't find any way of testing those ones. They have these two leads here. So all I did from memory the last time was just kind of like compared them to each other. Obviously I spun them to see if they were C's, but compared whatever readings I was getting to the other ones, and they were all the same. Some of them didn't, you know, anyway, they lined up, so I'm happy to kind of say that they seem fine. So yeah, we're pretty much almost ready to turn power on, see if this thing runs. All right, AM clamp's ready. Now from memory, this DSW1 here, if I go 1, which is test run, and then 2 to on, which is heating test. Yeah, let's turn power on, eh? Here the LED. It usually faulted out at this point, so this is a good sign. Both fans are running. Trying to work out if that one's making a weird bearing noise. I heard a vibration noise before, and it was because this, for whatever reason, had been taken out. I think someone's done some work on this before, to be honest with you, man. Compressor's still running. Test the other phases as well. So far, so good, but that fan does appear to be making a bit of a bad noise. Put you in there, you can hear it. It just sounds, you know, when they're running properly, they run pretty smooth. Yeah, you can't really tell. That one definitely sounds like it's making a weird noise. Temps are looking good. So that's supply. We got a return. Come on. I've just taken it out of test mode. I'm gonna go turn it on at the thermostat, but let's see what this fan sounds like when it. Yeah. for sure that fan needs to be replaced. Just waiting for it to kick on now. As it stands, this thing's working. It's heating up the space inside nicely. I'm just going to keep monitoring it for a little while. I'll talk to them about the fans, but see how we go. But yeah, I'll leave this portion of the video here. Thank you.